Coach, I told Kyle to come in here and get this room ready. But,
Kyle's out of control. What's up, guys and ladies?
Hi.
How was your spring break?
You know, it was got to go share the weekend with Ken Sparks at his clinic, who's passing away, and he's, in my eyes, the first coach that really modeled for me 3D coaching and coaching the heart of a kid. You know, so it was an honor for him to ask me to come back and speak at his last clinic, and got to take my family horseback riding in the mountains. That was a bucket list for one of my daughters. It was freezing cold, but we enjoyed it. Then I went and worked 3 days, and then played a little golf at Trump National the last few days of spring break. So it was a good spring break.
Talk about coaching. When you have a bunch of new coaches on staff, do you feel like you're like re-challenging yourself to like figure things out in a better way or anything like that when you're working with new guys?
Yeah, you're always trying to improve. You're never trying to stay the same. And you know, I wanted offensively to stay within our same system, which the field is, and then try to add you know, a better red zone package and some better run game. And you know, I've been pleased with that thus far. And then defensively, just trying to create correct habits. And a correct mentality is really what I'm looking for in spring, more so than scheme. I mean, you can't reinvent the wheel defensively. You either got to play man or two or one high stuff, and but just creating a mentality. And McGriff, I think, is the right guy for that. He's very demanding on them. It was a bit disappointing today, just the coming off spring break. I thought we tried to survive, practice a little more than get better. It ended pretty good, but there was moments that we've got to get out of those habits.
Aside from that beginning, do you feel like you guys are playing faster in the schemes now than they were at the beginning?
I think we will be. It's hard for me to tell right now without a play clock up. We'll get a play clock up. We'll have officials this week. I think Thursday from the conference, and we'll put the play clock up, and I'll know more then. I think we will be eventually. But it's still, you know, I mean, they're still learning some new terminology and signals and all those things, which is good for us. We needed to change some of that, the verbiage and the signals, and so all that's new to them. So I don't know that we're playing I know we're not playing as fast as we will, but I'll know more after we have this the officials come Thursday.
Does it bring new energy with Coach McGriff?
Yeah, there's no doubt. You know, he and Freddie and Pivito, and you know, have brought great energy to that side for sure.
And obviously that's an area that you need to improve from last year. And just, I mean, have you started to see that? It's a long process. Are you starting to see that this spring some?
I had before spring, didn't see it today like I'd hoped I would, but I know this: the coaches are going to demand it. They're going to keep them out there until they get it right, and we have to. And you know, that's an area that we've got to improve on, and again, I think it's more of a mentality and just habits than it is anything to do with scheme, or it's just a mindset of we got to do it. I mean, there at the end, you challenge them to get a 3 and out, and both teams played like their hair was on fire, where you know, 2 periods before they looked like it was survival mode and they're on some remote island and have no water for a month. Is kind of what it looked like, and then at the end you see, so it's a mentality, and we've got to change that.
Is that obviously a little bit more typical to be spring practice, your first one back, to be a little bit more sluggish?
Probably, but I'm not real into much excuses right now that they give. I don't want to hear anybody talking about stuff. I just want to see them perform and somebody fight through and take a leadership role. I think that's one of the things that was evident to us with the special forces that came in and worked with us, is the defensive side is lacking consistent leadership, and that's what you got to develop. And the only way to do that is through shared adversity, and practice like today is another example of that.
Obviously, last summer was bitterly disappointing for Jordan. What have you seen from him really since then, all through last season and now into the spring?
I couldn't be more pleased with how Jordan has been an example to everybody here of how to handle difficult news. And sometimes things happen to you in life that you have nothing to do with, really. And you know, it's bad news and it's difficult to take, and he has modeled how to handle those type of adverse situations. And man, just got to get him to the bus. I really, really like what I see in him.
What kind of spring is DK having?
Has had a solid one. Today looked a little sluggish to me. I didn't see one-on-ones. I was down with inside run, so I'm not sure how he did in those. But it looked like in the team settings he was a little sluggish. But he's going to be a phenomenal player.
You obviously had a lot of faith in him from the get-go last year. Well, what do you think he might have developed into last year had the injury not occurred?
It's hard to say, but I know that I felt really good about him in red zone. I just think he is a difficult guy. He's a basketball player that understands positioning in those tight quarters for red zone throws, and obviously has great strength and skills and size. And you saw that in the 3 games he played. So it's hard to say, what he would have developed out into the field, but I think he's got potential to be a special player.
What was the main thing you talked to Marquise about when he was making his decision to come back to school?
Just reality, what the facts are, not what some phone call says from this world that we live in out there that everybody has answers. I get the facts from people that I trust that are in that profession, and what reality is now that everything's slotted is if you think you can improve yourself and leave with a degree. Look, the average guy plays 2 years in the NFL. What are we going to do after that? And that's what I talked to him about, and I thought reality was he would be a 3rd to 4th round pick. And same discussion I had with Evan the year before, and Evan listened to sound advice and made a decision, and now everybody can project sitting here today where he's going to go, but I don't think anyone could argue that he improved himself by coming back, and I hope Marquise experiences the same thing. Ultimately, I'm going to support the family and the kid because everybody's situation is different, and it's my right and my responsibility to give them facts and then support their decision.